If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Monday, November 18th, 2013. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. Katherine Cook is a very busy person at Richmond University. Not only is she one of the team's best divers, but she's an accomplished musician who's also looking to earn a degree in chemistry. She recently took a trip to the country of Colombia for a week as part of her music class, and now she's back here in the States. Katherine joins us now in the Finis Monitor from Richmond, Virginia. Katherine, it is great to see you. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So you're a chemistry and music double major in addition to being a diver. How do you balance it all?
Well, some days it's tough. Some days it's not that bad. In the end, it all just happens to work out. I don't know how, but it does.
And why did you pick chemistry and music as a double major?
Well, I've been playing music since I was about 2.5, 3 years old. So that's just always been a part of my life, and I love it. So I definitely wanted to keep that in my life. And then chemistry, I've always been a science person. And then in high school, I realized I'd like to go pre-med and be a doctor. So when I took some chemistry courses, I realized I really liked that and just added that to my majors.
Is there any kind of overlap with chemistry and music that kind of makes them kind of similar in any way?
Not that I know of. I have heard that music and chemistry use the same side of the brain, so in that way they're supposedly connected, but I don't know much else.
Yeah, reading the notes on the page and reading formulas is probably about the same thing. You have a lot to decipher. So when it comes time to pick a career, I know you're just a junior, but when it comes time to pick a career, do you think you want to go with chemistry or music, or maybe be a musical scientist?
Well, I actually am pre-med, so in this coming summer I'll take the MCATs and then start applying to medical school and go from there.
Okay, well, it wouldn't be too bad. And then maybe when you're in medical school, you can maybe play for a symphony somewhere, kind of pay for your school bills.
That'd be nice, yeah.
That would be nice. So let's talk about your trip to Colombia. It was a week during your fall break. What were the circumstances that led to you taking that trip?
So about a year ago, they announced an orchestra that our music department wants to put together a group of students to go to Colombia. And in Colombia, we would work with students there, and we would play with them and hopefully enhance their music department and help them out a little bit. And so applications were due January 1st of 2013. So this past January 1st. And I talked it over with my parents, and they told me to go ahead and apply. And then a couple weeks later, I got the acceptance letter to the program. And then, so for the spring semester, you had to be in orchestra and chamber ensemble, as well as this fall semester, the current semester we're in. And as long as you were in those two and you applied and they accepted you, you could go on the trip.
Okay, so not too bad. So it sounds like it was educational not just for you, but for those students. You were teaching them as well? Is that what it was?
Absolutely, yes. We actually, one of my favorite parts was when we went to the school. It was an elementary and middle school. And the children there, it was in a very poor area, so we were able to bring our instruments, perform for them. And actually, the youth orchestra that we were working with in Cartagena came with us. And then after we performed for the children at the school, we got to work with the youth orchestra. So it was a lot of working with children, meeting children, showing them music, and introducing them to the musical world. And it was a lot of fun.
Tell us about the culture, the city of Cartagena.
It's beautiful. I absolutely want to go back. It's so pretty. We actually got to see a lot of the city. We made friends with some of the people in the university orchestra there, and we went out to dinner with them all the time. We got to hang out with them. They got to show us the city a little bit. It was great.
And it's right there on the Caribbean Ocean. You guys got to, dip your toes in it a little bit, which obviously for you, nothing unusual about being able to be around water.
Right.
Well, I understand also at the end of your stay there, you got to perform a Rachmaninoff piece for an audience, and that must have been pretty exciting.
It was. It's very fun.
Did you know you're going to obviously be performing that before you went? Because it's not an easy piece just to learn in a day or two.
Yes, actually, the reason we had to be an orchestra and chamber ensemble the spring semester and this semester was to prepare our pieces. So we had been working on it for a long time, and actually the university orchestra, who are the people that we played with in Cartagena, they had been working on it as well. So we had a week to put it together as a whole group, and it worked out well.
Yeah, it was a really amazing performance, and you got to have a little solo for about 15-20 seconds. I want to play a clip for that for our viewers just so they can see how talented you are. All right, so very impressive performance there. I understand you also, in addition to playing the flute, you grew up playing piano as well.
I did, yes.
So why do you like the flute?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I picked up piano when I was about 2.5. My brother was taking piano lessons, and I was watching TV, and I was like, of course, being the strong-headed person I am, I was like, hey, I want to play piano too, just like you. So I went over to the piano, and I was able to just play the Barney theme song just by ear and pick it out on the piano when I was 2.5. And so when I was 3, my mom finally let me start lessons. And at that point, I just had taken lessons my entire life. And then in 4th grade, that's when everyone was introduced to band. And so we got to try all the different instruments, and I don't know why, but I just liked the flute.
Yeah, it's very different from the piano. Piano is, fingers, and the flute is fingers. Got to have good lungs, everything. Mm-hmm. So it's. I would imagine the flute's probably a little bit harder to play than piano.
In a way, some ways it is, some ways it isn't.
Well, let's talk about something else I think is very difficult to do, being a diver. You got to go to the NCAA Zone Championships last year for Richmond. You placed 8th, I believe. How far away was that from qualifying for the NCAAs?
Oh, gosh. I think to actually qualify for NCAAs, you have to place 1st or 2nd. And if those people have already placed, they take the next person in line, I believe.
Okay. So just a few more spots to move up your junior year. I'm sure that's your goal, qualify for the NCAAs.
That'd be nice.
It would be nice. 1 meter or 3 meter, which do you like best?
I like 3 meter better, but typically I'm a little better at 1 meter.
And what's your favorite dive to do?
On 3 meter, it's reverse 2.5. And on 1 meter, I'd probably say inward 1.5.
Those reverse dives, they scare me every time. I mean, you're going blind, basically.
Yeah, they are scary.
Well, I guess if you could sit in front of an audience of 500 people or so and play a piece, I think you can handle a reverse dive. Yeah, I think that would be great to play to perform at the NCAAs, and maybe even you can bring your flute and perform the national anthem. That would be a great honor.
I actually usually do that at conference, so it's a lot of fun.
NCAAs would be just another step up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knows? You might get noticed. You might have to put the whole pre-med career on the side.
Maybe.
Well, Katherine, thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go, though, we want to submit you to the final 5. These are 5 questions we ask our guests to get to know them a little better. Our first question is usually about swimming, but we'll make it a diving-related question. The question is, if you could change or add any rule in the diving rule book, what would it be?
I would say you're allowed 1 balk per competition.
Okay, yeah. Everybody's going to make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess outside of chemistry and music, what's a career you would most like to try?
I'd be interested in either being a musician or being some sort of chemical or biomedical engineer.
Okay. Any career you think you'd do outside of medicine or music?
I would consider being a teacher.
Okay. And what's a career you know you would definitely not like to try?
I don't think I would want to go into business.
Okay. What is the absolute hardest dive to do?
In general?
In general.
Or that I do?
In general, what do you think is the hardest dive out there?
Well, from my perspective, front twisters are really difficult.
Okay. And the last question, where do you like to go most for vacation?
I like to go to Florida.
Okay. I'm sure you'll probably be saying Cartagena soon.
Yeah.
Once you get to spend some time there.
Absolutely.
Well, Katherine, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on all the success you've been having, and we hope to see you with the NCAAs.
Thank you.
All right, so that's going to do it for today's edition of the Morning Swim Show. We thank you very much for joining us. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for all the latest aquatic news, and be sure to catch up with everything on swimmingworld.com. I'm Jeff Cummings, and thanks for watching. And before we leave you, we'd like to have a solo performance from Katherine Cook.
Thank you.